for tonight?
I'm rooting for everybody black. I am betting on black tonight.
Lovely. You look great.
Welcome to Code Black Facts, where we talk about all things black to include news and viral videos, mental health, self-love, self-care, self-development, black women issues, crime stories, and black history. If you are interested in any of these topics, please subscribe to my channel, like, share, and don't forget to comment below. Thank you.
It's a black thing, when deep in the roots, baby, the sweeter the juice.
Changing something and you don't see it clearly yet, but you hear. And this is where most people.
Hello everyone. Thank you guys for tuning in to Code Black Facts. You guys know I love you and appreciate you. For any newcomers, welcome, and I would love for you guys to subscribe to the channel for more content. So let me just go ahead and jump into this video. You guys have probably already heard or seen the video that went viral of this pastor by the name of Pastor Todd. He is a pastor of Transformation Church. It's in Tulsa, Oklahoma. In this video, we're going to be talking about religion. We're going to be talking about religion within the black community. We're going to be talking about the blind leading the blind. I mean, we're going to be talking about just so much. I do want to warn you, this video is extremely nasty and gross. So if you have a weak stomach, then you may want to like kind of zip through this part a little bit because it's just gross, you guys. He spits in his hand and then he takes the spit and he rubs it on this is his biological brother in the video, but he's demonstrating a story from the Bible where Jesus was able to heal a blind man by basically spitting on the ground and then taking the spit mixed with the dirt from the ground and put it on the blind man's eyes, and then the blind man was healed. But see, this is the thing, you guys. Actually, let me just play the video. I grew up in the church of the Christian faith, and one thing that I do know is that many pastors will take different stories in the Bible and try to, recreate them in their way, in their version. And this was not needed. I mean, there's so many different things that he could have done. And, the man was actually, it was through the man's faith, the blind man's faith. And I believe the blind man's name was Bartimaeus. I can't remember, but it was his faith that healed him. It was him believing and having faith that, Jesus could heal him. That's what healed him, his faith, not necessarily the spit mixed with the dirt. It was his faith. It is by our faith we are healed. Through our faith we are healed. And this is why you got a lot of people, who may not believe in any religion or any spirituality or whatever, and they don't understand the concept of having faith and people actually believing in something and then what they believe in manifesting in their life. And if you don't believe, well, anyways, let me play the video and then we'll get into some commentary.
Would not face Jesus anymore. What most people would do is turn away. What I'm telling you is just as he's physically standing here, knowing what's coming, God's saying, can you physically and spiritually and emotionally be able to stand? when getting the vision or receiving it might get nasty. I'm going to say it in a point just like that. Receiving vision from God might get nasty. You mean, God, I just bought, in crazy faith, I just bought my dream car. And now you're going to ask me to sell it back and ride in the hoopty again? Yeah, because the vision I'm about to give you, it might get nasty. And do you hear and see the responses of the people? What I'm telling you is how you just reacted is how the people in your life will react when God is doing what it takes for the miracle. What are you saying? This man was blind, and what he was trying to do with this man is give him his DNA.
Okay, so if you're like me, you just finished watching the entire video and you're like, oh my God, this dude is so disgusting. Like, you're so disgusted, your stomach is turned, and you're just like, ew. And then you're like, how could this man, his brother, stand there and just let him do that? Like, what's really going on? Because I'm not gonna lie, like, when I first saw the video, what was dropped in my spirit was like sinister. Like, I just got a sinister vibe from him. I feel like this came from a sinister place. Like, like, there may be some things in his subconscious or some things that he has deep hitting within him that is coming out, but it's something very sinister about what he did. And that was just what was dropped in my spirit. When I first saw it, that's what was dropped in my spirit. But you guys, like, back to what I was saying when it comes to, the story that he's trying to reinterpret. And it's just like, dude, you don't have to do all of that. See, this is the thing. A lot of these new pastors, a lot of these pastors that's trying to stay relevant with the times, that's trying to stay, they're trying to compete with everything that's going on social media. They doing too much, dude. You overthinking it. And my thing is like, dude, when you are handpicked by God, when you are truly chosen, you know what I'm saying? Doesn't it say, it says, many are called, but only few are chosen. When you are chosen by God, and it's your season, and it's your time, you will shine, boo. You will shine. Like, if you really have faith, and you ain't got to do all of this. And this speaks to, like, again, the black church and everything that go on within the black church. Now, let me say this. I was raised in the church. I honestly had most of my experiences, but a very few, but most of my experiences were good. I learned a lot from growing up in the church. There are a lot of really good, grounded things that I learned, at least from the churches that I went to and attended, and the wisdom and everything. So I'm not here to say what religion somebody should believe in or what pastor people should follow. That's not my place. I don't do those type of videos. I don't do those type of videos. But what I will say is this: I know that what he did, God was nowhere in that. That was all him. God was nowhere in that. The spirit was nowhere in that. And if you got to do all of that just to go viral, and it's like, I went to his Instagram, and he had 1.8 million people, I think. And I'm like, dude, you got 1.8 million people. Like, I get it. You want to be like Jesus and you want everybody, but even Jesus wasn't able to reach everybody. So it's like, dude, so he actually ended up following up with a apology video, and basically I don't think he was really, I didn't take it as an apology. He says it's an apology, but I didn't. I'll play the video and let you guys see, and you can decide for yourself.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I hope you're having an amazing Monday. I just want to acknowledge what happened yesterday when the spit hit the fan. I watched it back, and it was disgusting. Like, that was gross. I want to validate everybody's feelings. That was a distraction to what I was really trying to do. I was really trying to make the word come alive and for people to see the story. But yesterday it got too live, and I own that. And I just want to make sure people know that we want to help people. We want people to see Jesus. We want people to feel loved. We want people who are desperate to be able to find hope. And I'm passionate about that, so much so that I try to do extreme things to help people get it. And yesterday it crossed the line. So I love you guys. I appreciate everybody that's been praying for us and sending us messages. And to anybody who just saw that 3-minute clip, I really encourage you to go back and watch the whole message. And truth and some life in there that could potentially change your whole life. When Jesus spit on that man, he was blind and then he could see. For my brother, who I love and honor so much, I just called him. He was bald before I spit on him, and he's still bald today. So no miracle here. And so next time I'll rethink and do something differently. I love everybody. I'm praying for everybody. And Transformation Nation, thank you for riding. We're going to represent God to the lost and found for transformation in Christ. All right, everybody, have an amazing week. Peace.
All right, so you guys heard the apology video, and I'm not taking that as an apology. And I know it's not about what I take, so I'm just saying that just in general. Like I don't think that it was heartfelt. I think that he's still on here trying to joke, because when he opened up the apology, he's like, when the spit hit the fan, like trying to joke about it. And I get it, it's an awkward situation. You're having to come back and apologize and all of that, so it's awkward. So to lighten it, you want to tell a joke. But again, spitting on somebody and just putting your spit all up in their face, that's really not something to joke about. It's just really not. And but if you notice in the video, he also mentioned where he was talking about, he was trying to convey how sometimes when you have faith or having faith, sometimes things get nasty. And he was trying to convey how, like, he was trying to convey, like, when you are desperate and you're in desperate need of something, that the faith that you may have to make that come to pass may get nasty, right? And so he used his saliva as the mechanism for the nastiness, or the connection to the nastiness, and then he wiped it on the face, as in, like, okay, so having faith, it doesn't look like it could happen, it doesn't look like it's gonna happen, but if you have faith and you believe, it will. Like, that whole thing. And that's another thing when it comes to within the Black community. Boy, don't get me wrong, I believe in faith and all of that. I do believe, I'm a person who, I believe in spirituality and faith. I also believe in science, and I also believe in logic. I believe that, when things cannot be explained spiritually, they can be explained logically. And logic and science kind of go hand in hand. But that's a whole nother video. But I do notice, like, when it comes to the Black church, boy, they preach away that faith. They preach away that faith. And I think sometimes it can turn, because you have people that will have faith in stuff that just does not work for them. And they'll stay in that same corner for years. And it's like, ma'am, sir, this is not working for you. And as a people, as a group, as a community, especially when it comes to, like, religion and stuff like that, or just anything, even thinking outside of religion, boy, we are some of the most faithful people. We will stay faithful to stuff that do not serve us, stuff that do not help us become our higher self. But we will be faithful to some stuff that will on one side, it's tearing our lives up or tearing us up, but boy, we still faithful. We still following. We still loyal. And then when you watch other groups, honey, sir, other groups, they are faithful to things that work for them. When it comes to faith, it's like, okay, as long as it's working for me, I'm faithful. The minute it start working for them, they jump ship. And the last thing I wanted to point out, I noticed with like a lot of, I get very, I ain't going to say very, but I do get somewhat leery sometimes when I hear pastors talk about how they want desperate members, or like they want you to be just so desperate for the word, just be desperate. And, from a psychological standpoint of view, like, a desperate person can be a very, very self-destructive and dangerous person. Like, I get the concept of be desperate for God, be desperate for the word, do everything you can to be the best righteous person that you could be. Like, I get all of that. I get taking desperate measures as it relates to like your faith and having faith. Like, I get all of that. But you got some people who are not all the way there mentally, emotionally, and they'll take that desperation to another level, and they will harm themselves or harm somebody, or they will put themselves in a position where they are a prime suspect, or they are someone who is targeted to be mistreated and harmed. So when I hear pastors talking about, I need desperate members. I need members to be desperate and hungry and all of that kind of stuff. I sometimes I side out at, because it's like, why would you want desperate people? Why wouldn't you want full, people who are full of life, joy, love, who have resources to give, or who have, and resources it doesn't just mean money and physical things to give. Resources can be your time. It could be your skill. It can be your talent. And you are giving that to the community of God's children or whatever. And, you are lending that, you're giving that so that it can benefit, someone else and be used for the greater good. Like, I get all that. So when I say resources is not just money. But, when you're talking about desperate members, and I get very leery of that, because I'm like, you should want, your members. I know your members are not going to be perfect, but at the end of the day, you should want healthy minded people. You should want healthy people, just period. But I think sometimes when pastors are talking about that, they want people to be desperate because they want them to be hooked like a drug on them. Because you do get a lot of people who get hooked. They get hooked to a certain things that go on in the church. This is why you got a lot of people, they'll jump from church to church to church, because they looking for that high of, oh, I know when I go, I'm the best dressed. Oh, look at my hat. Look at my shoes. Look at this. That's a high for some of them people. You got some people who they like titles. They go to church jump from church to church to church because they chasing titles. They want people to praise them and give them all the accolades because it's a high for them. So I'm very leery sometimes when I get to hearing pastors talking about being desperate, and they're teaching this desperate thing. And if you notice in his quote unquote apology video, he's talking about desperate, be desperate. And it's like, after that sinister mess you just did, sir, you don't need no desperate people in your church. Because you've been in, them people be batshit crazy messing around with you. Based off of the sinister stuff. Yeah. So anyways, you guys, if you like this video, you like the commentary, go ahead and like. Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to leave a comment. What are your comments? What are your thoughts? And until next time, I see you guys later. Bye.